budget. That's one thing I want to put out there. So for me, honestly, it's more going with what it stands for, which is a union. That what makes it different from the university. Because if it was a business, I think we wouldn't have a union. We would have just a university basically fighting on our behalf with everything. And with that being said, though, I would run it for what it stands for according to its mission and its vision statement, which is making sure that you offer services to students and lobby on their behalf, making sure that their interest is well cared for. Thank you.
Molly?
Thank you for that question. Really good question, actually. Because of the system all the way SMUSA is set up, it's very difficult to decide whether there was going as a business or a government, because SMUSA does all things, even though it's not a non-profit organization. That doesn't mean we should run it into the ground and put it in debt. So to answer the question, there's no simple answer to it. I guess it has to be a combination of both. Because like you have to close the lounge, they employ staff. They have to stop their, their refrigerators, etc. We have to patrol. We have to buy winter tires. We have to pay our staff. We have to insure it. That kind of stuff. So SMUSA is a business and a government at the same time, and it should be run that way, so it can stay afloat. Thank you.
All right, so there's no shame in a sixth year. There really isn't. I'm going into my fifth year, so it's all good, brother. We'll get out of here. So for me, as Momo said, it is a combination of both, and I plan to run it as carefully as if it was my own business for the business aspects, and to represent you as accurate as I can for the governmental aspects. So you can rest assured that I understand how it works, and I will work for both sides of it to make sure that it's perfect for you.
Yes. Yeah. I worked at Pittsburgh. Thank you. That's you? Oh, Morgan. Oh, okay. Sorry.
In regards to that question, I do agree with Amali. It is a business and a government. I'm a psych student, so they're not really my specialties, either of them. But I mean, I'm a learner. I'll learn to run it as a government and a business, but like Keith said, I would run it as if it was my own business and take care of it. And but again, we are students, so I don't think having it run as like a government is overly crucial.
Before you were done. Now they got a pitchfork on his side.
Pitchfork. It's a safe society.
I can see that. Do you have on a coat and a scarf? I see something that looks like a pitchfork.
So, with recent issues of SMU Online and on campus, it's clear that SMU has become the target of much scrutiny. It's clear the reach of the social spotlight has gone beyond the campus. Our esteemed guest reminded us we take a risk on when we elect someone as a leader to represent all of us. With these things in mind, do you feel like your online presence puts forward a professional and discreet manner or image?
Okay, I've got the next set done. This is just straight math. So the order is Keith, Yannick, Morgan, and Amali. And for that question, you'll each get 1 minute.
So, my past jobs have included working with children and teaching them skills such as sailing, and it's really important in this day and age to have a professional image online because those children can find you and they can really look into who you are. And if you're a role model for them and you have inappropriate things posted, it's really not a good thing because those are our younger generations. So I take a lot of care with how I'm portrayed online. So you'd have trouble finding dirt on me.
Yannick?
Madam Moderator, I have a question.
The question is, it started with a statement, which is that it's important to have a clean online and professional online persona. How do you feel about your online presence, and do you present yourself in a professional manner? Is that fair?
That's fair, accurate representation of what I said, yes, that's fair.
Great, thank you. Answer that question.
I'm actually very cautious and very. I don't actually place a lot of statuses on my social media, and that's one thing because I think that's how personal I am to myself. And that being said, though, I want to add that SMUSA, with the current administration, given that we put the social media policy in place, they have done a good job. They were proactive and reactive, because proactive being that it was something that was started in my time when I was Vice President of Communication in 2012, and it gradually got implemented. But yeah, I'm very personal when it comes to social media, so you can go on my Facebook page, it's mainly promoting events. That's pretty much it.
I think we're all going to agree that having a professional Facebook account is, or any kind of social media is important. We have families, we have siblings, we have friends, coworkers. Anyone can look into your Facebook. It doesn't matter if it's like hidden or private. Anyone can find that stuff out. So yeah, I think it is really important.
The question wasn't if you think it is, it's do you.
The question is, do you, yes, the question is, what is your personal image in social media?
Yeah, I mean, there might be things on there that people don't agree with. But I am who I am, and I'm not gonna hide certain things. I don't know, I'm probably getting something, but I do keep it fairly professional. I don't post things about politics. I don't post things about gossip or anything like that. But for the most part, yeah, professional.
I believe that my online presence is very professional and is very appropriate. Not because of similarities, not because of rape trends, not because of tweets, but because I was raised that way. If I were to post anything on any social media that would in any way embarrass my parents, that would be the end of me. So even simple things as cursing or swear words, I try to keep that very limited because I also have my friends' parents on my Facebook. And every time I slip up, whichever thing happens, they always pull me up publicly on it. So it's how I was raised, it has nothing to do with similarities, but obviously if I relate to those good practices from my household will, be showcased as president of SMUSA. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, Stripes, what?
This question has to do with university fees. So what would this SMUSA do on the presidency to hold the tuition? Because throughout the 4 years since I've been here, university fees have increased. So what would you do in terms of if the university wants to increase it, how would you communicate it to us as students? Because most of the times when it is increased, we don't hear about it until towards the timing, and we have no way of fighting it, and it's just normally done. So what would you do in terms of university fees?
Okay, so the question, everybody hear it? What are you going to do to help with university fees and communicating any changes to the student body? All right, that's a 45-second question. I'm being completely arbitrary here. And the order for this one will be Yannick, Morgan, Amal, and Keith. So, Yannick, you're first.
want to make clear is that it's thanks to the university, thanks to SMUSA, that that the university has capped the increase at 3%. That's something that we're still going to fight for and maintain, and even if it's need be, decrease it, so that we don't suffer the whole paying high tuitions. And obviously, I will communicate it through the various means, being it social media platforms, even putting it on the journal or whatnot. But I do want to stress that point that if there was not that SMUSA between students and the university, the percentage of hikes in tuition per year would have gone further.
Morgan?
We're all adults. I don't think it's fair to put it on SMUSA to inform you of tuition. I don't. I just like this. I don't. We're all adults. We all have to pay attention to those things, like our bills, our taxes. Like we have to pay attention to those things. So I don't really think it's fair to put it on SMUSA to tell you that there's going to be increases in tuition. I think you should have to look into that on your own.
Amali?
Very good question, Gary, thanks. Like I mentioned before, even with regard to orientation week, I think the key to running a very good experience or running a good organization and representing the students and scenarios well is to establish a very comfortable middle ground between SMUSA executive and the executive of St. Mary's University. If elected, we will fight to keep student fees down, to keep the inflation rate down on an annual basis. We have fought for it in the past, and we'll continue to fight for it in the future.
Okay, last one.
All right, again, thank you for the question. It's obviously a really important question because it's money into our pockets, and that's a big issue for us students. This year is a contract year for the government to cap on tuition fees, and we have full representation in the lobbying group Students of Nova Scotia, which will then go to the government to decide what that cap is on the increase. There's a lot of changes happening in that lobbying group, and SMU has the steering wheel as it is right now, and I can guarantee you that with my executive, we're obviously going to push for lower rates for you guys. So thank you.
Any more questions? Okay.
Why do you think you will best represent SMU as a president?
Okay, so I think that's a nice big global question. You'll get a minute and 15 for that one. The question is, why do you think you will represent SMU the best as president? And the order for this one is Morgan, Amali, Keith, Ian.
I think I will be the best representative as president because I love the school so much. I'm relatable. I know a lot of people, and a lot of people know me. You can come talk to me, and I want everyone to have their voices heard, and I want to be sort of a way for people to do that.
Amali.
Very good question. I was actually waiting for someone to ask that. I think I think that's true because I'm actually a man of the people, and I always have been. I'm very close with students from many different interest groups, demographic societies on campus. I always have been, always will be. I'm a great listener, a great friend to all those who are my friends for me in this room. And I always put my friends before me. Thank you.
All right, Keith.
I'm going to sit this down. I'm kind of get tired of running back and forth. So for me, the reason I would best